Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Kevin with Real Traders Webinar. And first off, we just want to thank you for being here with us tonight. And I just want to ask you guys real quick if you could do me a favor and just type into the chat box a quick Y if you can hear me okay and see the screen. That'd be great. Thank you, Mary, Gregory, Dave, Scott, Craig, Dennis. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are ready to go. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys know that tonight we have with us Hubert Centers. Hubert has a passion for helping people just as his mentor helped him. He's best known for his no BS approach, which is both effective, refreshing, and entertaining. He currently owns HubertCenters.com and is the co-founder of TradeTheMarkets.com. He and his companies have been featured on Bloomberg, CNN, CNBC, Stocks and Commodities, and Traders Expo, just to name a few. He holds a Series 3 and 30 license and is a principal at Razor Trading Holdings. Tonight, Hubert's going to be showing us how to find a secret weapon for finding better trades. Hubert, it's all yours.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to do another audio test, and then I'm dyslexic, which is not a bad thing. It's just a weird thing. I use this little righty like pen thing. They call it a Wacom or Wacom board. So if you don't mind, if you can hear me, just say A for audio. That'll make sure that everything's going on. Oh, that's one heck of a warning. I know. Unfortunately, I'm registered, so I have to do this every time. And then if you can answer this question at the bottom of the slide, just to make sure that my little gadgets, my little toys are working. What is the answer to the question I'm asking you on the bottom of the slide? All right. Audio and video, and we're good. Okay, cool. So we're good. All right, so I'm recording to it here as a backup, so that's good. All right, so first, I am a registered Series 3 and Series 30. What that means to you is it's a very complicated way of saying I took a couple of tests and got 70s on them. All right, that's all it means. It doesn't mean anything else. It doesn't mean that I know something special about trading, because I don't. I'm a registered Series 3 because I like being the house. Does everybody understand the analogy of Vegas when you go to the house? So I am actually my own clearing brokerage firm in the futures industry because I trade a lot of futures. I also own seats on the exchange. So I pay next to nothing for clearing and commissions when I'm trading in the futures market. Now, in the stock market and the options market, I don't have those licenses, nor do I have those type of brokerage firms, but I do in the futures because I trade a lot of futures. So that is why you're always going to hear me say potential, probably, maybe. You'll never hear me say guarantee unless it's an offer for you to buy something, right? Like a course, an indicator, or something like that. But I'll never blow smoke up your rear end and tell you that anything is guaranteed, because there are no guarantees in life. There's no guarantee that you'll be alive tomorrow when you wake up. Well, I guess if you wake up, you will be alive, right? So first and foremost, you should never trade more money than you can afford to lose. Like I said, since I'm registered, the governing body that oversees me is the NFA and the CFTC. So I just have to be careful on what I tell you. And the reason I do that is I don't want to end up in a prison cell next to Bubba in an orange jumpsuit. I don't think it would turn out well for Bubba or myself. Very well. Can I trade through your futures firm? You could, Peyton, if I cleared retail. I don't clear a lot of retail. I mainly do it just to save myself commissions. But yeah, if you wanted to, I guess you could probably clear through me if I wanted to allow that to happen. So yeah. So you should never trade more money than you can afford to lose. Always only trade discretionary income. Trading is hazardous to your wealth and your health. Just give me a yes if you understand what you're doing. And what I'm going to be talking about today inherently has a lot of risks to it. You can lose more money than is in your account. A lot of people don't understand that. Stops are not guaranteed. The reason I know that is because I had to take a test saying that I understand that. So I like to go above and beyond and say, hey, your trading career will probably end up like a bad country song in reverse. Well, I don't know. I guess it's every country song, right? Your wife's going to leave you, probably for your best friend. Your dog dies because nobody has a cat in a country song. Your kids hate you. They repossess your truck because it's got to be a truck. It's a country song. And evidently they foreclose on either your single wide or your double wide trailer. All right. Now I can say that because I'm a redneck from Kentucky. I grew up in the hills of eastern Kentucky. So I guess I can make fun of rednecks. My name is Hubert Centers, and this is my no BS approach to trading and investing. Before we get started, there are three main ways that I believe in making money. And trading and investing is one of them. So trading and investing, it would be one. Businesses would be two. And then real estate would be the third way. Now, I'm not ranking them 1, 2, 3. You could rank them any way you want. I do all three of these. Okay. So very important. I think you should always be diversified. Sometimes I make more money business and real estate. Sometimes I make more money trading and investing. It just really depends on what's going on. So tonight or today, depending on when you're watching this webinar, we are going to talk about trading and investing. So now I've done a decent job of scaring you away from the markets because you should be fearful because this stuff is dangerous. Now, what I believe is, and what I really believe in, is if you're really willing to just do a lot of hard work, you can be successful in life. Now, heads up, this is going to sting a little bit. You're going to have to work your ass off. You're going to have to do some blood, sweat, and tears and put in some hard work. I've never met an overnight success that didn't take at least 10 solid years. A lot of people will tell you that you're going to start here and you're going to end here. And most people's goals, oddly enough, is about $1 million, which, believe it or not, is not that much. It's not as much money as you think it is. All right. So, and you'll see some people is like, oh, if you want to be successful, you just do a goal and you go from here to here. And that I've never seen anybody go that linearly, that straight line from A to B. And I've heard people with books and stuff say that it works like this. I've just never seen any of my buddies that are millionaires and multimillionaires and a handful of billionaires. None of them ever did it that way. It's always, we all start out like this. We usually start with no silver spoon in our mouths. We work really hard, we get a little success, and then we lose most of it, and we figure out what happened, and then you kind of got these real weird lines to what you end up calling whatever your goal is, that success, and it ends up looking like a bowl of spaghetti soup or spaghetti. So after you hit your goal, make sure you have a new goal, because if you don't, you're going to hate life. You just won't be happy. So just make sure that you don't fall into that trap of thinking after you've hit your goal, you're done, because I've never met anybody that's done. I had a guy that sold his business, and he was on the beach for about 3 weeks, and he got tired of drinking Mai Tais and said, I got to do something with my life. So this is just a collection of a collage showing you that I grew up poor in Eastern Kentucky, in the coal mines of Eastern Kentucky, one of the poorest places in the United States, and I was able to do it. So if this little fat redneck is able to become a multimillionaire, you ought to be able to pull it off too. Heads up, it's hard. It's a lot of work. I put in a lot of hours. Like right now, I'm doing a webinar with you, and it's 8 o'clock. I could be doing something else. This is a picture of me and Paula in front of one of our offices at a mastermind. She's actually about 6 inches taller. I mean, shorter than that, because she's got 6-inch heels on. This is a picture with Richard Branson and his golden locks. Both Richard and I suffer from dyslexia, and he thought that was funny. And he's got longer hair than I do, but I got more chins than he does. So I guess he's going to live longer, but I don't know what that means about me. I guess I'm going to die quicker, I guess. He's a good guy. And then this is Mr. Wonderful. He's in the Shark Tank series, and he is actually a little evil, okay? If you ever do a business deal with him, he's going to hurt you. And also, if you ever have to have dinner with him, he's going to wear you out just talking about this wine and that wine, and the wine bill alone is going to be expensive. And I will tell you one thing: you never want to play credit card roulette with any of these guys, because it gets expensive. And if you've never played credit card roulette, you got about 15 to 20 business people at a dinner table, and everybody just puts a credit card into a basket, and whoever's card gets pulled out, they get to buy dinner. So be careful, all right? So we got little horns there for Mr. Wonderful. And then this is Dave Ramsey. Dave and my companies do business together, and I help his guys do webinars, and he helps me show how to scale my business and stuff. This is me, the guy with the big square head right here. I never end this little get up here because it's just uncomfortable. Right now I got a pair of tennis shoes on, a pair of jeans, and a T-shirt. I am in front of these screens right now as I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you on this microphone right here. Now, when I was growing up, I watched a lot of Ghost of Mixture Chicken. And I also watched a lot of Scooby-Doo. And I always said, man, if I ever make it, what I thought was making it, I'm going to make sure that I have secret bookcase doors leading to passages in the house. So in order to get in the office that I have it's my home office, you go downstairs, and there's this bookcase that looks like this right here. And it's got these levels here on it. And then there's a book right here. And there's a button. You push this button, and you pull on this book, and then the door opens up into an office where I come and work every day. And it's about 1,500 square feet down here, this little office is. And that's where I work and trade and run all my businesses. And I've got 3 of those little things in the actual house, which I know a lot of people think it's childish and immature. I love it. I think it's cool, so I mess around with it. I got one in my son's room, too. So that's where I'm coming from. So congratulations. You're in the right place at the right time, and here's why. So I'm going to show you how to take your trading to the next level. If you like candlesticks and you're a candlestick charting fan, you're going to love this. I'm going to show you how you now have a new opportunity to take your trading to the next level. Before I do that, next webinar, show a picture. Show a picture of a lot of people, we call it the Bat Cave down here because I'm a Batman fan, but we just call it the Bat Cave because it's got weird stuff in it. I do need to take some pictures and videos and show people. Every now and then we'll have private clients come in here and they're like, that's the neatest thing in the world. Real quick, informally, what do you trade the most of? Do you trade more stocks, options, futures, Forex? What do you trade the most of? I can only see the title slide. Okay. Options, stocks, futures, equity, options, futures, equities, E-minis, futures. All right, so a little bit of everything. All right, cool. What slide do you see right now? Does it say how to take your trading to the next level? Just to make sure I'm doing this right. Yes, okay, all right. All right, now I know what you trade. What style do you trade? Do you invest? Are you a swing trader or are you a day trader? The most. What do you do the most of? Okay. All right. So I'm going to restart this really quickly. Pow. All right. And then the last question I want to ask you is, where are you right now? So there's actually about 5 different levels of trading, and so there's level 1 where you learn how to lose massive amounts of money. You just get really effective at your burn rate. Level 2 is where you lose little bits of money because you get tired of losing all the money fast. Level 3 is where you learn how to tread water, where you make a lot of money, lose a lot of money, make a lot of money, lose a lot of money, make a little money, lose a little bit of money. Level 4 is where you start making, a consistent income. And level 5 is where you think, hey, I've made it. Congratulations. Try to stay up here now. What level are you at right now? A lot of folks get stuck at 3, okay? So this presentation is my attempt at trying to get you from level 3 and move you to level 4 and 5, okay? So I'm going to talk about that. And what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to show you first, what does this work on? Well, this works on stocks, options, futures, Forex, bonds, gold. It works on commodities. It works on pretty much anything out there. Now, it works on some things better than other things, and you would expect that, right? Nothing works on everything. It's impossible. So this is going to be a little bit different, but in a good way. I like to have fun, so I'm just going to cut up and have fun. I'm going to pretend that we are either college buddies from the past, or we went to grade school or high school together, and we met at a bar, and you said, hey, I heard you make a lot of money trading. How do you do that? And I'm just going to break down with you like, all right, this is where I would start first. Now, it's going to be your responsibility to pick the market, and it's very important to pick a market that fits your personality and your trading style. But I'm going to show you a strategy that can really help you out. So these are some of the back testing results over the last 5 years. Not 5 years, but 5 years. D, Y, what's the difference? It will work on futures, yes. It's worked on the S&P 500, the stocks in the index. Out of 500 stocks, it's worked on 430 of them. So it works on about 86% of the stocks out there, okay? 33% return if you take every single signal. In other words, if you take the long and the short and the long and the long and then the short. I don't recommend that you do that, okay? And then if you filter out some of the counter trend signals and you only do the trend signals, and if you wait for a 3, it doesn't have to be a 3-day, it can be a 3-bar confirmation, it'll increase your return from a 33% return to a 79% return. So I'm going to show you how to do that with one really simple filter. So it basically works on all's an asterisk, nothing works on everything. It only works on about 86% of the stocks, okay? Now, it's got an even better track record in currency futures and Forex. It's been profitable on 29 currency pairs over the last 10 years. And if you use this magic time frame, and I call it the D60-10, a D60-10, daily, hourly, 10-minute, then you're going to get some really, really good results. Yeah, it works on bonds fine. It works on futures, bonds, yes. So I got another little cool thing in my office. I'm going to do it right now. I'm tired of sitting. I'm going to hit a button, and you might be able to hear the little whine of an electronic engine. It raises my desk up, and I can actually stand up and give this presentation instead of sitting down. Oh, it feels so much better. There we go. All right, cool. All right, so let's get to the meat of the presentation. First, this is where you want, yeah, it works on everything. Yes, it works on almost everything. Options, yes, it works on options. You guys keep asking. Does it work on options, binaries, bonds, futures, crude oil, corn? Yes. All right, this is the most important slide in this whole thing. You first have to figure out what time frame you want to play with, okay? Yes, it works on ETFs. All right, I'm going to quit answering questions. I'm going to get to the presentation, and I'll answer questions at the last piece, all right? If I don't, I'll get stuck in a rabbit hole, and I'll never get out. All right, so this is my time frame. This is one of the most important things. Whip out a pen and take notes on this thing right here. So the chart frame that I want to look at, number one, is I want to look at a daily chart, because that means I'm going to be in the trade for probably 20 to 30 days, okay? If I look at an hourly chart, in other words, 60 minutes, then I know I'm going to be in this trade anywhere from 3 to 5 days. If I'm looking at a 10-minute chart, then I know I'm going to be in this trade for about 4 hours. Does that make sense? So when you look at this, if I'm looking at a weekly chart, well, then the chart to the right is going to extend at least 6 months if I'm looking at a weekly. Now, I don't look at a weekly much. This right here is my preferred way to trade. I like this right here. I like a daily, an hourly, and a daily, hour, and a 10-minute. And I do it in that fashion, in that direction. You can do a 5, you can do a 1 minute, you can do ticks. I just don't do it. I look at a daily, a 60-minute, and a 10-minute time frame, because I know exactly how long I'm going to be in those trades. All right? All right. This is what you want right here. It is the #1 technique used in Japan. You're going to know exactly what is happening in seconds. And that's had it. This was actually it's been the #1 technique 7 years in a row. It's been a #1 selling book in Japan. Heads up, translating a book from Japanese to American is kind of a pain in the rear end. It's a really great way to find trends and signals. It's designed to produce really clear signals. So the edge for you now. So here's why I like this indicator. Now, I'm not here to sell you an indicator. This indicator is on almost every decent platform out there. And when I say decent platform, it's on all the good platforms. If you don't have this indicator on your platform, you don't have good charting. And I'm not saying that to be a butthole or to talk down to you or anything, but if you're going to trade against us pros, you should have the same tools that we have. There's no sense in you coming to a gunfight with a toothpick, right? It's not going to do you any good. So the reason this indicator is so powerful is it's going to give you the past, the present, and the future. And there's not very many indicators that will give you the past, the present, and the future. They'll usually give you 1 of the 3 or 2 of the 3. Hardly any of them give you the 3 out of the 3. So let's take a look at what this is doing. So the indicator is called Ichimoku, or cloud charts. And I'll show you how to find it in most of the platforms. It's not hard. Most platforms have it. It's called the Ichimoku cloud. So on your chart right now, you should see a black chart with a blue ribbon. Do you see that? Let me know. Let me see. Let me get a lot of yeses. Make sure I'm not leaving anybody. All right. I'm going to teach you the terminology first. Okay. So before we do that, if the price action is above this blue ribbon, this thing is what we call the cloud. C-L-O-U-D. Okay. So that's the cloud. Hard to see the blue. Okay. So the blue should be a little bit hard to see, right? Just make your chart a little bit bigger. Now, if the price action is above the blue cloud, we're going to say that that is bullish, okay? We know that that's bullish, and we want to buy pullbacks or buy breakouts, but in other words, we don't want to do too much shorting. Does that make sense? You can think of this as just a big old fat moving average, okay? So what's the blue thing called? Just type it in here, because how I teach you is just repetition, because that's how I learn. It's called the cloud. Just type cloud in the chat box. Cloud. Just type cloud. Cloud. If you just get it, there's several hundred people in there. So let's see cloud. Let's get Ichimoku. That'll work too. There you go, cloud. All right. So that's the first thing you got to know. Now, here's what you do now. When you know you're above the cloud, if it sells off, it's probably going to sell off to the cloud and bounce. Bounce. And if it doesn't bounce there, it should bounce here. And bounce and bounce. And if this thing was to sell back off again here, it'd probably bounce out of there. That's the first thing you got to know. All right, let's learn what this next little line is called. So first, the first thing you look at, what's this thing called? What's the blue thing called? CLOUD. The yellow line is called the turning line. I'm just going to go turn, okay? So the yellow line is called a turning line. So just type turn. And we'll just make sure everybody's got, it sounds like we're in grade school, right? Everyone get out your pencils and your paper. I always used to waste a lot of time at the pencil sharpener, just so I wouldn't have to come back and do this stuff. All right. It follows the clouds. It's right. It follows the candles closely. All right. So that's the second thing you need to know. Now, here's the thing. We're in bullish mode, right? Because we're above the yellow line, which is the turning line. If it breaks the turning line, then it'll go to this next line called a standard line. So this is called the cloud, CLOUD. This line right here is called the turning line, TURNING. And this next line is called the standard line. I'm just going to go STD. And no, it's not something you got in high school or college, but we're just going to call it the standard line, okay? Now, let's think through this. This is a bullish setup, right? This is bullish. The reason this is bullish is because it's above the cloud. If it breaks the yellow, where's it probably going to go to next? So, in other words, on this example of this chart, if we sell off to the yellow, I want to pick it up and I want to buy it there. But if it was to break that yellow, the second place it would go to the standard line, right? And then if it broke the standard line, the third place it would be the top of the cloud. Last place it would go to the bottom of the cloud. And then if it breaks this thing and stays down here for more than 3 days, then my job is just to short the heck out of that thing because it's going to get destroyed, okay? So we've got the cloud, the turning line, and the standard line. And the last line we have is called the lagging line. I'm just going to call it lag. So what's the blue thing called again? Called a cloud, CLOUD. The yellow line is called the turning line. I'm going to call it turn. Purple line is called the STD, standard line. And then the white line is called the lagging line. So this is the past. This is the present. And this is the future. So here's the concept behind it. What it's telling you is that this thing is in a massive uptrend and it's going to trade sideways to slightly up. Okay? And the lagging line is what happened in the past. And these two lines right here are the future support of this thing. If it sells off into the future, this cloud of support should hold it. And if it doesn't, then when it drops below it, we can short the heck out of it. Pretty simple, right? Now, let's go through and I'm going to go through and share with you what all these lines are, how they're calculated, and what the settings are, okay? So here's how you spell Ichimoku in the upper right-hand corner. It's I-C-H-I-M-O-K-U. Ichimoku. And no, I did not sneeze. So what is the line that's closest to the price action here? What's this called? What's this one right here called? Anybody remember? It's called the turning line. So we're going to call turn. All right. The green line here is going to be the STD, standard line. Here, the blue line is going to be the lagging line, right? It doesn't really matter what platform you have. And now what's this red and blue thing here called? This is called the cloud, C-L-O-U-D. So like right now, this is just an old slide of Apple. Don't worry about it that they're old because I'm going to do nothing but live charts at the end of this thing, okay? So would this thing be considered right now? Is Apple in its current standing, is it bullish or is it bearish? Yeah, it's bearish, right? Because it's still below the cloud. As long as it doesn't go over here and spend at least 3 bars, then I'm usually pretty safe shorting it here and shorting it here. Now, if that doesn't work, not a big deal because we would have shorted it right here and we'd have rolled this sucker all the way down, right? So we would have made bank on this way to the downside. So we've got this much bank just banked up, saved up. So if we give back some here and here, it's not going to destroy us. Does that make sense? All right, so let's talk about how the turning line is calculated. The turning line is this little red line. And what you're going to do is you're going to calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. You're going to look for the low of that day and the high of those 9 days. You're going to divide that by 2, and then you're going to add that up, divide it by 2, and it's going to be 450.07. Now, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to calculate this thing because all software just does it for you, and it goes 450.07. That's how you come to this thing. Now, it is not a moving average. It is not a 9-period moving average. It's a 9-point midpoint average, which is totally different than a 9 period moving average. It's a midpoint average. It's not a moving average, because if you chart them, they're slightly different. Okay. Now, so that's the first line. Second line is the standard line, and it's the midpoint of the high and the low of the last 26 sessions. You're going to take the high and the low of the last 26 sessions. You're going to divide it by 2. That number will be your midpoint, and that's your standard number. So in this example right here, this green line we're going to calculate by this right here. That green line's number is going to be 425.42. We're going to start with today. We're going to go back 26 bars. We're going to find the low, which in this case seems to be 385.10. We're going to find the high, which in this case is going to be 465.75. We're going to take these two numbers and add them up. Then we're going to divide it by 2. The addition comes to 850.85. Divide it by 2, 425.42. Magically, it matches that right there. Pretty simple, right? Cloud span A is the midpoint of the turning line and the standard line, shifted 26 bars forward. Here's what that looks like. The red line is what? It's the closest one. It's the turn. Green line, standard. That's the midpoint of those two, shifted in the future 26 bars. Okay? Let's talk about cloud span B. Cloud span B is the midpoint of the low and the high of the last 52 sessions, shifted 52. All right, so here's what you do. You're going to go, this was today. This is the past 26, or the 52. So you go back from here to here, and it's the last 52 bars from point 1 to point 2. That's 52 bars. Midpoint, and you shift it 26 bars in the future. Okay? Any reason why 26? Because when you, based upon fairy dust and unicorn tears, that has been scientifically proven to be the best. So that's what you come up with, cloud span A and cloud span B, and obviously I'm messing with you. All right, so let's talk about the lagging line. The lagging line is the price line close shifted back 26 bars. Okay, so all you're doing is you're looking at the lagging line, and the lagging line is, here's day 1, here's day 26. You're just going to take the price action now and shift it back 26 bars. So now we have the past, the present, and the future. All right. So here's some signals that you want to pay attention to. Ichimoku cloud charting signals. When the lagging line crosses the cloud, that is the most powerful and important signal that you have. It usually means a trend reversal. When the price crosses the cloud is also a very good signal. It's the second strongest, and it's a very good signal also. When the price and the lagging line touch the cloud, it's usually a fade trade. You go in the opposite direction. And when the cloud spans cross, when it goes from red to blue or blue to red, and when the turning line and the standard line cross, this is the weakest signal. It's also the fastest. So it's fast, but it's also weak, and it's really good for scalp trades. Okay? So let's take a look at a few of these examples. So in this example, do you see where the blue line crosses the blue cloud on Apple here? When that happens, you want to make sure that you are now short Apple. Okay? Now, if you know the definition, that means that's going to be what? That's shifted back 26 days. So you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's about right in this area right here. When it got here, right there or right here, my counting's not great. It's either right there or right there. Then this line went below the cloud. Okay? But that's okay. Look, we missed some of this, but that's all right. You can also just wait until these 3 cross, and you can make more money by doing that. So let's talk about the process crossing the cloud. So here you've got 1 bar crossing the cloud. I like to have 3 bars cross the cloud, and then I like to have the blue line or the lagging line confirmed, because it doesn't have to, but I do like it to. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. So in this example, we've got 3 bars below the cloud and the lagging line. If we just go on 3 bars, we'll be in closer, and then we can confirm it with the lagging line. So that's another good trade setup. Now, we've got a nice little counter trend trade here. So we're going to short this when the lagging line touches the cloud, and when the price action touches the cloud, we're going to re-short that. Okay? Because that usually means that it's going to fail and it's going to turn back around and go lower. And if we're wrong, we lose money. All right. Crisscross trades. When the When the 9 and the 26 midpoint averages, when they cross, so if you're a counter trend trader, well, we should still say bullish up here, right? But if you're like, man, we're up here, these two just cross. If they cross, where's the price action probably going to go? Well, you could short it, and you'd want to cover at the top of the cloud or at the bottom of the cloud, because you want to buy at the top and at the bottom of the cloud. Now, once it gets below the cloud, you can then let it cross once and then cross back again, and then you could short that right there and short it. And then you could do one right here, criss, cross. Here's another one, criss, cross, another short. So it's a good way to get in and out of it if it's a smaller time frame trade with a crisscross trade. So bullish signals. If the price is above the cloud, then that means things are bullish. If the price in the cloud, the prices are in the cloud are bullish if they come from the bullish side. So in other words, if you've got a price action chart that's going like this and the cloud is like this and it comes back down here and touches the cloud, that's still a bullish signal. The lagging line crossing the cloud is the main signal of trend change. The price crossing the cloud is an earlier but less reliable warning of a trend change. Yeah, I'll remove the ink. Hold on just a second here. Remove this for you real quick. Prices and lagging line will often find support at the edges of the cloud, so pay attention to that. Cloud spans crossing may be a signal that the trend is changing. Be on the lookout for thick clouds after a run, which could mean a trend change. Now, bearish signals are the exact opposite of bullish. The prices below the cloud, that means bearish. Prices in the cloud are bearish if they came from the bearish side. The lagging line crosses, I'm not going to repeat that. You can definitely take notes and then watch the slides again if you want to, right? I don't want to just kill you with example after example. So let's go back through. Remember, CFTC rule 4.41. This is back-tested results. None of this is guaranteed to work, and you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. Back-testing, 86% on the S&P 500, 33% if you take every signal, 79% if you just take the trend trades and filter out with a 3-day or a 3-bar confirmation. All right, profitable on 29 currencies over the last 10 years using a daily, hourly, 60-minute, okay? Now, time frame selection, really important. I use a daily, an hourly, and a 10-minute. You can use whatever you want. If you're looking at a weekly, just know that that trade's going to extend for 6 months. My daily, I know I'm going to be in it for 20 to 30 days. My hourly chart, I know I'm going to be in it for 3 to 5 days. My 10-minute chart, I know I'm probably going to be in it anywhere from 3 to 4 hours, okay? All right, let's see here. Multiple time frame analysis. I'll fix that. All right, where are we at right here in the presentation? All right, best stop to use. Best stop to use is a parabolic SAR or a PAR SAR. You can also use the bottom of the cloud if you're long or the top of the cloud if you're short. Now, the trade setups. Let's look at some live. I like PowerPoint. It's useful for teaching just theory, but what do you guys say that we come over here and just do this live, okay? So you see this tab that says Cloud D6010? Boom. So here's how I look at things. Now, I'm not going to be able to go through every single chart on daily 60-minute and 10-minute time frame. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on the daily more than anything, but I want to show you a couple examples how I do this. In other words, this is a daily chart of the Dow, okay? We can use the S&P. Let's use at ES. Ding. All right, in the ES. So right now, if this is the daily chart of the S&P 500, is it bullish or bearish? It should be bullish, right? It's above the blue cloud. It's above both the turning and the standard line, and the lagging line is pointing in that direction too. Notice that the direction is saying we're sideways to slightly up, right? So now I'm going to go back down to a 60-minute, okay? On the 60-minute, if I was to sell off, where would my support be? It'd be right here, right? That makes sense. 60-minute held it pretty good too, right? Look, it sold off, bounced off of this cloud, and ran off like crazy. On a 60-minute, I just need 1 bar to close above it. Now, Let's take a look at a 10-minute. Change this from a 10 to a 5 to a 10. On a 10-minute signal on the S&P, all I have to do is I got to have one bar creep up above that cloud. And then on a 5-minute signal, how long am I probably going to be in that trade? 10-minute, I'm probably going to be 3 to 4 hours, right? And then I'm long here. It goes up. Now look, it broke back below. So now I have to wait. The next signal I'll take is when this thing crosses back above that cloud. Does that make sense? Let's take a look at one more real quick, and then we'll go from daily to daily to daily. Let's go AAPL. So Apple is bullish. It's above both the turning, the standard line, above the cloud. So I would want this thing to sell off for me so that I could buy it either at 126.58 or right here at the top of the cloud. Or I would wait for a 10-minute signal on Apple. You see how this one crossed below Apple's cloud on a 10-minute? See how it went back above? This was a long on Apple right here. Long and strong. Now look, 10-minute crossed below. So now on Apple, I want it to cross back above the 10-minute cloud, and I could get re-long Apple. Here's another example. Let's go Netflix. NFLX. Netflix. So how do I trade this? On Netflix, we've been above the cloud, lagging line, turning line. What do we sell off? We broke the yellow, so then we're going to the purple. We broke the purple, and where are we going to end up at? Top of the cloud. So I'm right now actively buying Netflix with a target of 435 and 450. Now, how do I buy that? Well, if you're not already in it, which you should be, where should you have been in Netflix at? You should have been in Netflix as soon as on a 10-minute chart, it crossed right here. Long Netflix, my stop can be the bottom of the cloud or that most recent low at 416. I can either use the bottom of the cloud or I can use the bottom of my most recent low. Long here, and now look, it should support me again right there. Does that make sense? So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do chart after chart after chart on a daily for you, okay? Let's do this. I'll do this for you. Let's go through a bunch of the different markets. Let's go ES. What's the ES? ES higher, target would be about 2150. Take a look at the Dow. Dow also higher, target would be 18,500. NASDAQ is trending well, acts good. Next target, 4,600. Russell looks way better than all the other markets, doesn't it? Look how strong it is. I can't buy the Russell up here. I'd love for it to sell back off to 1225 so I could pick it up at a discount. Does that make sense? You see how quick you can just go chart after chart after chart after chart after chart? Let's go through a few more markets. Let's go through the 30-year bond. 30-year bond, 30-year bond's a little bit harder. So it wasn't a massive uptrend. Massive. Now, I'm going to show you this on a weekly because I trade a lot of bonds. Why do you think I was long all last year on bonds? Just because of the daily. Look at this thing right here. This thing looks amazing on a daily. Look at there. Since February, I've been long bonds, long, pullback, long, pullback, long, pullback. And then look what I did. Now it's shifting. So I think this is a really good teaching slide. Or not teaching slide, but a live chart. When it broke the yellow, I shorted it after that and wrote it down to the top of the cloud and at the bottom of the cloud. Now, when I broke 3 bars below the cloud and this white line went with me, the lagging line, I then shorted it. I shorted it here, here, and here. And all 3 times, I lost money. All 3 times I lost money here, here, and here. Now, the cool thing about that is I've made all this money that I've banked. Now I'm just giving it back 1, 2, 3 times. So now I either have to wait for it to go back above the cloud or wait for it to go back below the cloud. But I've only lost it here, here, and here, where we've made a ton back in this direction. No Ichimoku on Ninja Trader. How ironic. There is a form that we have in a course that we teach where I think there's a free way that you can get it, Carl. Yeah, there's a free, I think it's a Big Mike's form or something like that. Yeah. All right, now check this out. At FGBL. Tell me what you would do at this market. And this market right here just makes you look smart. That's the reason I like trading it, because it makes me look like I actually have some intelligence, which I don't. That right there. What do you think I've been doing with that market right there? James Kemper says, I have Ichimoku on my Ninja. Yeah, right. I'm buying every single pullback to that yellow line and that purple line. And God forbid if it ever touches the blue cloud, I'm going to be all over it there too, right? You see how easy that looks, right? That's just simple, right? Let's go at GC. What's gold? Gold on a daily right now is nothing but a pure short. It's crossed below the cloud. The lagging line went with you. Gold's a short. Let's take a look at crude oil at CL. Crude oil. What's the right answer on crude oil? Here's something else. What if you shorted crude oil up here when it crossed? You let it go down here for 3 days, 1, 2, 3. So you only would have shorted crude at $97. Where's your cover spot? Bottom of the cloud and then top of the cloud. Crude right now tells you like, yeah, I'm going lower to sideways. Yeah, that's what the Mark G, that's what it is, yes. Let's take a look at what else. What other markets you guys want to look at really quick? So I'm going to move now. All right, so give me some symbols, and I'll look at them in a daily, and I'll show you where they're going. ORCL. Oracle. Decent long, but it's kind of sideways, right? So I would say higher to sideways, target of 46. Okay. Facebook, FB. Facebook, good long above here, long above there. I'd be long, target of about 87. Stop would be 80.13. GPRO, great little cameras. Me and my son use them for scuba diving. What is that? Is that a long or a short? That's a short, right? Thing's going to go to $20. So you short it at the yellow, stops the purple, going to 20. AUDUSD that's nothing but a short. Look at that, short. Shorted here. You're going to short it at the bottom of the cloud, target 75. NASDAQ, you mean at NQ? NASDAQ is a long with a target of the most recent highs of 44.69. GoPro already did. DAL. DAL is interesting. Notice how it spent more than 3 bars down here, but the lagging line did not confirm. Pay attention to this. This is really important. You see how you were below this cloud 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 20 days, but the lagging line goes, I don't really believe it. So Delta's going to go higher. It's probably going to go test 50. Some strategies are complex. This is great. Do you think the results are just as good? Steve, I use it all the time. It's one of my bases of trading. The reason I use it because it answers a lot of things like where was the price going, where's it at now, and where's it going to go in the future. SBUX. I am not cherry picking. I'm just trying to take as many as I can. Starbucks, great long, has support at 95.21, target 107. It's relatively simple. It's definitely simple, right? The reason I like it is I can take a newbie or an intermediate trader and go, look, just look at this. Now, before it looked kind of complicated. It looked like a lot of little spaghetti soup on the chart, right? And now, and you look at a chart, you just go, right? It just clicks. You're just like, boom, I know where it's going. Boom, I know where it's going. Where are you reading the target? All right, so I'll show you a little hack that I use. If I was going to get long Starbucks, in my head I go like this. Okay, I would say, okay, I'm going to get long Starbucks at the close of today at 97.76. My stop loss would be the top of that yellow line, which would be 95.21. And then I would go, if I'm risking one, I need to make one at 100. If I'm risking one, I want to make 2 at 102.84. And if I'm risking one, I want to make 3 at 105. I think I said 107. That's pretty close. All right? So that's one of the things I do. The slides went by so fast. Can we get a copy? I think they're recording it, so you'll have a recording. BABA, terrible stock. What did Ichimoku tell you to do? Ichimoku said, listen, it's going lower, right? When it dropped below here, and then it ran up into oversold resistance, and it just keeps dropping like a knife. Now it's on decent support now because it's at its IPO number right in this area, but it just looks nasty, right? Are those voodoo lines? No, these are not voodoo lines. They're just Ichimoku. Let's see here. UAL. UAL is on solid support. Just went back above its yellow and its purple. It's turning in standard line. Probably going to go to $75. Looks really good. I like it. All right. Can you explain or justify why an hourly chart justifies a 3 to 5 day hold or if yes, I sure can. Watch. On a 60-minute, I can show you exactly why. On a 10-minute, here's why. Let's go 60-minute. A 60-minute chart is going to extend to the right of the chart this much. And that's what it's doing. So it's going to extend, a 60 minute is going to extend about 4 hours to the cloud on the right. So that's why. It's a good question, though. That's a really good question. Smart question. USO is going to be the same thing as crude oil. It's a short. It's going lower. Now look here. Whenever I actually bought crude oil down here and rode it to right here. All right. And then I got stopped out at the lows. Look here. Short cover. I went long after it crossed through the yellow, went to the purple, and then when it got to the bottom of the cloud, I flipped out a half of it. You have webinars on risking 156 to make 1,000. You also use Ichimoku, which is better, or when do you use it over the other? I use Ichimoku on almost everything that I do. Yes. How do you use the cloud in the future 26 period out to make the trade? Gary, I don't understand the question. Let's see. ETF, USO, I got that. All right, give me a couple more symbols, then I'm going to go back to PowerPoint. And then I'll finish the webinar on more charts, just until I get tired. Home Depot's a long, stop of 114, target of 122. Boeing, good long. I get long here with a stop of 152, target 163. Disney's a good long, stop of 104, target 112, 115. Twitter, TWTR. Twitter's a good long with a stop of 46.64 and a target of 50. Facebook, I thought I already did Facebook. I guess not. Yeah, I already did Facebook. Facebook is a good long. It's probably going to go to 87-ish. Tesla, TSLA. Tesla is a great short. Overhead resistance, I'd short it right now at 202.76. Stop would be about 205, and target would be 180. Yeah. I did BABA. AAPL, simple. It's a long, sold off, and it's crossed back above, probably going to 140. GLD is the same thing as gold. All right. Does it make sense to you how to use this? Just on the little bit of information that you do know. Kroger's a long. When it pulls back to the yellow line, you buy it. So in this case, you bought it yesterday, or you can buy it today or tomorrow. And then your stop's going to be 73.37 on here. Here's the euro. Somebody says, does it work on currencies? Nope, it doesn't work. It works exceptionally well on currencies. There's the euro currency. Here's the Japanese yen. Look at that. That's amazing. Here's the Aussie dollar. Look at that. That's crazy, right? It works great on currencies. Can you go back through the best signals of Ichimoku 1, 2, 3? The best signal is when this white line crosses the cloud. Second best is when 3 bars cross below the cloud. And then the third one would be a crisscross trade. Or when the lagging line and the price action touches the cloud. So yeah. How can I set up my toss where I can see the future of the cloud on the chart? There's just a setting you got to tweak. I think we got a course that teaches you how to do all that stuff. How do you get your target? I just showed you just a minute ago how I did that. And it's pretty too. It is pretty, right? All right, so let me hit my slides again here, and then I'll come back and I'll spend more time with you and answer some more questions, all right? Silver, it works phenomenal on silver. Silver's same thing as gold right now. All right, the trade setups. Look at live charts. So I think I did a decent job of showing you almost everything that it works on, right? So let's go back through some stuff. So here's some success stories. The course was awesome. I've taken one bond trade and made over 900. Do you think I'm happy? I just entered the bond trade, shorted again, where I took profits earlier today after you made me greedy for possible further drops. I'm happy dancing. This is the first time I've had success trading during a course. I have the hardest head in the world. You couldn't have made it simpler. Mary. Here's one from Greg. Success story. Dude, thanks. You are likely the only reason I have kept at it with trading, and now that I'm profitable, I can't thank you enough. It was really great, and I can't wait to attend the gold trading class. Thank you for everything that you do. Cool. Here's another one from Ron. The webinar series was a great experience, very informative and educational and lots of fun. But that's no surprise. All of your courses have been great learning opportunities and great values. So question I've got for you is, will you be our next success story? I'm inviting you to join us. So who is this for? So if you're serious about making money, real money in the markets, and if you are looking for a proven system, and if you can follow a simple set of rules and directions, and if you understand that your success is tied to you actually taking action and not me taking action for you, then this course may be for you, okay? Let's talk about who it's not for. It is not for holy, look here, I told you I'm dyslexic. It's not for holy grail seekers or holy grail seekers, right? So if you chase a lot of people that are trying to teach you how to take $10,000 and turn it into $2 million by June, I'm not your guy. I know people that have done stuff like that. It's hard. I like taking $5,000, turning it into $25,000. I also like taking $25,000 and turning it into multiple six figures. Those are the things that I like trying to do. If you suffer from hopium, if you just want to trade all day long just for the sake of trading, and you're just doing it for, you know, shits and giggles for entertainment, I'm not your guy. I'm about like returns and performance and results. I'm really picky in what I do. If you suffer from guru-itis, in other words, if you follow me and 142 other gurus, just pick 2 or 3 of us and follow 2 or 3 of us so that we're not all conflicting each other's different opinions, and then go to the other 3 guys after that. If you can't make a decision, obviously I'm not your guy. And if you like to make things just more complicated for no good reason at all, obviously you and I are not going to get along very well at all. There are 3 types of people in the world. There are those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that asked what just happened. Which one are you? And I only have like, I think 4 more slides. Actually, 4 more slides. And then I'm going to go back to live charts, okay? So here's a fraction of what you'll learn in the Ichimoku cloud charting course. It is the #1 selling Ichimoku cloud charting secrets class of its kind in the United States and North America, in the English-speaking world. I can't say Japan because I don't own the one in Japan. I'm going to give you 7 proven setups that I use on Ichimoku. I'm going to give you the trading rules, the indicator settings. I'm going to give you a checklist with a cheat sheet with entries and exits. I'm going to give you the stop loss and the targets. I'm going to show you how to scan the markets with Ichimoku, how to filter out the best trades for Ichimoku so that you never guess what to do next. I also want to show you how to avoid some of the head fakes. All right. Now here is the satisfaction guarantee. You have absolutely 0 risk, 100% guaranteed satisfaction, no questions asked. If you don't love it, I don't want your money. I always over-deliver, period. You will get a 10 times X return on your investment, okay? If you don't, I did something wrong. Not you, I did, okay? All right, so here it is. If you go to Real Traders Webinars, or Real Trader Webinars, is it webinar? Yeah, webinars, not webinars. .com/cloud. You can also call the office at area code 859-963-3445, and you can order it that way too. Here's what you're going to get in. Here's what's involved. I'm going to give you the Ichimoku Cloud Charting Secrets. It's the #1 course in the United States. $197. How to use Ichimoku with candlesticks. You got to use them together. I'm going to give you 4 live trading analysis sessions. We're going to do 1 of these a week for the next 4 weeks. And then I'm going to give you 1 day of live trading, all for a value of $488. Or you can pay only $97 today, and it's for the first 100 people in this webinar. There are way more than 100 people in here. These will go fast. So grab your link and make your purchase. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to live charts for you. And we're going to cover chart after chart after chart until you're satisfied, okay? So I can vouch for your no questions asked return policy. Oh, cool, Bob, thanks. Big, let's see here, BIG. You want me to take a look at the big? Let's take a look here. When is it? Oh, it's all already recorded. It's a home study course where as soon as you hit the add to cart button, you will then immediately be taken to, let me see. Let me grab the link here myself. I'll grab the link. So once you click this link, here's where you'll be taken to, okay? You'll be taken to a page that looks like this. Get out your credit card, put your first name here, your last name, fill out the address fields, Scroll down here to credit card type. Put your credit card and your security code. This is the most important field. Make sure you put your email address in here because we deliver it via email, your username and password to your resource area, okay? Click place order, and then once you do that, you'll automatically be enrolled in the course, and the videos are already ready there for you to watch. The 4 live trading analysis sessions usually happen on Tuesday at 7 p.m., and then the live trading, I'm usually in the live trading rooms on Monday at 9:30 to 11:30, okay? Any questions? How do you trade with prices in the cloud? I don't. I avoid that at all costs. Now, let me show you a couple of cool things. Even if you have crappy charts, which I know some of you have, I teach this in the class. So if you go over to stock charts, I'm going to actually show you some stuff that I teach in the class to show you that you don't have to just have the charts that I have. So if you go over to stockcharts.com, and then you scroll down here to where it says predefined scan filters, okay? They move this stuff around. Hold on. Where's my predefined? Point and figure. Hang on. There it is. All right. Additional tools. Predefined scan results. Does everybody see that? Bink. All right. Then you scroll down here and you go, okay, I'm going to go down here to cloud patterns. And you see where it says Ichimoku cloud? If this moved above the Ichimoku cloud, there's 156 stocks. Move below the Ichimoku cloud, there's 251. That's pretty cool, right? Even if you don't have great charting, you'll still take advantage of finding some really good trades if you know how to use them. Now, their server sometimes is slow because it's a free service, but you can then scan this. See, click here, and then we can scan this by volume. We can just sort it by volume. So GLEN, USHC, DAL. These are all ones that moved above the cloud. So Delta and GILD are longs. They just moved back above the cloud. You can also do it for shorts. Filter it based upon volume on the shorts. So here you have Microsoft, XLT, ATT, UNG, DNR. DNR is a new short, all right? So that's how you do it. Now, I use TradeStation, so I don't have to use that little hack. What I can do is I can come back over here, and I can do it like this. Check this out. Now, you should see, here we go. All right, here's your link, realtraderwebinars.com/cloud or 859-963-3445. What I'll do is I'll do it like this. I'll go dink, and then I can actually put this. Watch what happens here. I'm going to show you how I do this in TradeStation. This is really cool. So I can load up just a bunch of stocks in TradeStation. Watch how cool this is. I'll just download them down right here. I'll go say, I'm going to go right-click, insert analysis technique, insert symbol list, and I'm just going to go TradeStation symbols. I want to go all stocks that are got at least $5 and above that are taking decent volume. I'm going to say, okay, I want all those. And I'll say load all those suckers in there. Now it's loading those in there for me. Now watch how cool this is. I've already got the Ichimoku cloud charting indicator loaded up on this thing. Watch this. Now I can filter this thing for really cool trades. Watch. Okay, let me just filter it here. Dink. All right. Now what I'm looking for is this right here. You see where it says down, trend below the cloud, and I can just double click this. Watch. And now I'm going to just click it one more time. And now watch this. I can scroll back up here to just stocks. New below, new below, new below, new below, new below, new above in the cloud. And I can hyperlink this thing to watch this. Watch how cool this works. And now I've just scanned it for a ton of good trades. Okay? So now all I have to do is say, this one's newly below, CVX, newly below on the daily. DVN, new below, good short. X, new below, good short. So it went up, and now it's newly back below it. XLE, new below. You can do kind of the same thing in TOS. Not perfect, but you can. All right? You can also do NBR, new above. So that's going to be a new long. Oh, look here. That's a decent trade. Look. So it's getting ready to cross. That's already 1 day above the cloud. You just need 2 more days above the cloud. That would be an aggressive long, or you could wait for that white line to cross over. That's not a bad trade. That looks good. Okay? Here you can go new above, UAL. UAL was in the cloud. It crossed back up. That's going to be a good long with a target of 75. Is that a custom TradeStation scanner? Or is that a standard? That's the standard in TradeStation. I'm not here. I'm not selling you any trading indicator. The indicator is in almost everything out there. What I'm trying to get you to invest in is yourself and learning how to properly use Ichimoku. Okay, the indicator is on almost everything that's good out there, and you can just use what you got. Right? What about the scan? The scan's free in TradeStation as long as you have a radar screen. I'm not selling that either. That's just included in TradeStation. And Toss, you can do the same type of thing. You just have to set the scanner up and stuff like that. If you don't have charts, like I said, you can use something like this, which is bar chart or stock charts. And if you don't have a chart, look, you can just go like this. You can go, okay, XLP. Then you can just click this chart button, and now you have a chart, and you can just configure this thing. And I show people how to do this on the course, and just go, all right, I just want to go Ichimoku full, and I don't want anything else on here, none, and then just hit update, right? You can use this. If you don't pay for charts, which you should, it said, hey, there's a new short here. It's the same type of tools. You should be able to scan for Ichimoku and Toss. Yeah. I would think you could. Hubert, what are the backtesting returns on 29 currencies over the 10 years? I just know it's been profitable. I don't know. I'd have to pull up the data, Brad, and see what the data is. All right, so let's do chart after chart. You guys ready? I'm going to do a daily chart. You hit me with symbols. Does everybody know what your link is? It's realtraderswebinar.com/cloud. And you can also call area code 859-963-3445. It is only for the first 100 people. And then after that, it's pretty much a done deal. Do I have a correct card? It says 99, not 97. Oh, that's fine. I'm probably just wrong on $2 or something. Mine says 97 though on the cart. So just put it in again. If you hit the wrong cart and you buy it for 99, I'll give you $9. Yeah, I'll give you $2 back. All right. I do Ichimoku scan on Toss. There you go. Richard says it works, so you should be good. All right. Here's the rules for the stock symbols, or the symbols that we're going to look at. Only one per line at a time, and you have to type it in caps because GoToWebinar uses like an 8-point font, and I can't read them very well. So for ZB, we go at US. That's the same thing. It's in the cloud. Leave it alone. JP Morgan. I'm going to go through these kind of quick because I can do it quick. JP Morgan is a long. Let it pull back to 60.36 to get long. Can you scan in Thinkorswim? Yes. RRC. If I miss your thing, just keep typing it. It's a short. Stop 49.57. Target 40. Only one per line, please. UNP. UNP is transition. It's a better long than short because the lagging line is not confirmed, but with this one, you're in a hurry up and wait mode. Just leave it alone. RIG, rig. What? Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say rig's a short. Rig's a short. It's going to $10. GOOG. GOOG is a good long. Stop of 553. Target 580. WFC. Wells Fargo, good long, stop of 54.79, target of 59. MACK, good long, stop of either 11.76 or 10.88, target $14. LMT, good long, stop of 199, target 210. AMZN, transition, right? It's below both the turning and the standard line, which means it's probably going to come down here and tag the cloud. So I like it long, but it needs to pull back to the cloud, okay? DECK, Decker Outdoor, is a good short with a stop of 73.66, target of 65. LOW is a massive long. You should have bought it yesterday on the turning line, and now your next target's going to be up here in the $80 range. Let's see here. WEN. WEN is a good long, cross, back above, target 1150. DPZ is a good long, stop of 101, target 115. Yeah, if you're getting a busy message, all you got to do is just first try to check out online first, right? But there are two of my team members taking telephone calls. I can see them because I can see the telephone ringing, and I can hear it, and then I can also see how many orders are in the queue. Yeah, I just bought the course, but could you explain the scanning in TS again? Yeah, Jay, it's really easy. Like, first you just got to have radar screen, and then like I'll just do it like here on radar screen. In order to get this in radar screen, here's all you got to do. So let's just say I don't have it in here. I'm just going to remove it. I'm going to go boom. All right. Here's how I get it in there again. First, you start up radar screen and populate it with a bunch of markets, and then you just go right click, format analysis techniques. Thanks for the order. I appreciate it. And then come over here. See where it says Ichimoku Cloud? Add it over here, and then just go, okay, boom. And then it's going to sit there and go, brrr. Now, it's got a little weirdness about it because it's got all these inputs. You don't need all these inputs. If you want to hide them, you could just hide them like this because you don't need the daggone things. They don't really mean anything to you. You could just scrunch these suckers together. I just actually unview them, but you could just do this right here. This works just as good. And then what you're going to do is you're going to double left click if it's above or below the cloud. All right, so you just go price location, tick, tick, price location, tick, tick, and that will bring the cream to the top. Above cloud, above cloud, above cloud, above cloud. And what we want is new. So we're going to click it one more time. So when we see new, we know it's new below, new above. And that's how you do it. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Hi there, excuse me. What time did we start? I got here on time. No? No, it started an hour ago. An hour and 8 minutes ago. So you're late. You missed the secret to life. Oh my God. Let's take a look at some more charts here. PCLN. Bad news. You're never going to be able to make any money in the markets because you missed the last hour. I'm totally messing with you. Priceline is in a weird spot. It either needs to go above the yellow or below the purple. So just watch it for a couple of days. Whichever way it goes, go that direction. NFLX. I'm actually in this trade right now. I'm long Netflix off of the bounce on the cloud here. It's sold off into support, so I'm long Netflix right now with a target of 435 and 450. Do you look at the direction of the purple line? No, not really. I don't look at that much. I beg your pardon, sir, but are you recording? Yeah, we've recorded it, yeah. And I'm totally messing with you. Let's see here. Okay, great. So we will be getting the link to it. Yes. In the course, do you discuss the preferred options to buy or sell at the money, in the money? I do not, Mark. In that, I do not cover that in the course. What I do is I show you how to do it in the stock, and then it's your responsibility to pick your options trade. That's not that hard. Yeah. 435 to 450 is a small percentage. Yes, that's my first target. Second target, and my third target would be up here around 480 to 500. Yeah. All right, WBA. Give me some more symbols here. Let me see here. WBA, good long. You get long it now. Stop would be 84.50. Target would be 95. Can I still butt Netflix? Yeah, you can still buy Netflix. You could probably butt it too if you want to. Yeah, you can still buy Netflix. I mean, you're not going to risk a ton of money on it. You're just going to risk 415 on it, and then target 1, target 2, and then target 3 up here. J, 1 per line. Add ES. I've already did the ES, so I'll do it again. Higher looks good, 2150. Crude oil at CL, crude's going lower, probably going to 40. Yeah. BUD. Please explain 435, 480 in the future. Why risk so on a small increase? Oh, okay. So on this trade right here, wait for it to bounce to the cloud or close above 122. NFLX. All right. So I'm looking at this on a daily, okay? I'm already long. As soon as it touched the cloud here, I got long. And it's a very tight stop loss. The bounce will probably be to that first yellow line. If it gets past that first yellow line, it's going to go to that purple line. If it gets past that purple line, then it's going to go back up here to 480. Does that make sense? It's still in a massive uptrend. It's above the cloud. I have to believe in it holding support here. And I do. It may or may not work. If it doesn't work, I'll lose a little bit of money. If it works, I'll make more money. 10% is good. 10% on that trade's good. That's fine. Yeah. SPWR. SPWR. Good long. Stop would be 30.50. Target would be about $40. Do you trade pairs using mean revision strategy? I do some pairs trading. I do revision of the mean, and also do LRC snapback rubber band trades too. Can you explain how you would use with candlesticks? I can't go into depth in this candlesticks right now just because I don't have enough time, but it is in the course. GMCR. GMCR. Okay. Ed, Ray, Steve, Rod, Paul, Patrick, Tim, Susan, Ed. Thanks. Appreciate it. On GMCR, it's a short. It ran into resistance, and it's below the turning in the standard line. Next target would be 110. TWTR, Twitter's a good long. It sold off. It crisscrossed back above both the turning and standard line. Target would be 50. What are the percent trades, the ones that bounce on the cloud or something else? I couldn't give you the percentages. I don't track all the percentages on every single trade that does that. I couldn't tell you. I can tell you that if you use this strategy, you will probably, potentially, maybe make more money than you lose. I'm registered, so I have to be really careful. RMD is a good long. Stop of 69.54, target of about 80. Just subscribe to the course. Is it available through email? As soon as you get it, we'll send you an email with a username and password to the resource area, and you can start watching the videos as early as tonight, Dawn. Also, the number that you're calling to order is our support line. So if you have any questions or anything, you can just call us. We're around the office. We get in at like 8:30, and we close up shop around 5:30. How much is TradeStation per month? It depends on how many exchanges you have. If you do 10 round turns a month, it's free. If you don't do 10 round turns a month, it's a couple $100. Link for recording. Dave, we're not done yet, so we don't have a link for the recording. On Twitter, do you wait for the yellow line to go above the purple line? TWTR. No, you do not have to. The yellow line, it sold off to the yellow line, and you could buy it there and just let it bounce for you. How do you know without using the fib target area? I've been trading for 25 years, so I can eyeball it. That's why. Which broker do you use? I am my own broker. I have a futures IB. I use TradeStation, Toss, Infinity, and about 3 others. At US is in a weird spot. Leave it alone. It's in the cloud. Don't touch it until it either gets above or below the cloud. Oh, Steve, just call the office. We'll take care of it. Steve, call the office and talk to Jared. Tell him, and he will take care of you, my friend. How do you know? Okay, I got that. And can I set up an account with your clearing firm? I don't really clear retail at this point. I get a lot of people asking though. I should probably do that. Call Jared at that telephone number, area code 859-963-3445. It's in the chat box. Or it's right here on my screen. See this big telephone number right here? Call that number. Talk to Jared or Michelle. Tell them what you got, and they'll work something out with you. Tesla. Sorry if you've already looked at it. Brian, where have you been? Tesla's a good short. It's still, it's trending sideways to lower. You see how the cloud's getting a little thin and it's going sideways slightly lower? It would have been a good short here today at 202 with a tight stop loss, and your first target would have been 195-ish. So now next target would be about 180. How do you figure out targets on day trades? Oh, simple. We would use a 10-minute time frame because that's what I kind of like. You could use smaller. I just don't usually go smaller than that. If we're in Tesla, we would be long here. I know I'd be risking from here to here. My target would be 1, 2, 3. So I'd be long at 195. My target would be 202. Yep. Paul, pick one, man. Which one you want me to look at? DNN. Okay. DNN. All right, let's go back here to a daily. Penny stocks. Pick something else. Penny stocks are evil. Well, what else you got? I can't advise you on penny stocks because they're so manipulated. They're just great ways to go bankrupt. You got a second one you want to pick here, Paul? Teva, okay. TEVA. All right, Teva, good long. You should have been long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago. Looks good. It's probably going to go to around $70. Looks really good, though. How do you compare Netflix daily versus 1 hour says up, but the 1 hour shows down? All right, so good question, Rob. So here's how you do this, and it's covered in detail in the course. Netflix, NFLX. Netflix on the daily has sold off to support. Does everyone agree? It is in a daily uptrend. It's sold off to support. And then what I want to do is I'm not following the 60-minute. I'm following the 10-minute for an intraday entry. I'm already long Netflix. So if I get long, let's say I was long Netflix at, let's say I was long right here at 420. If I get long at 420 on a 10-minute, then my target is going to be where on a 60-minute? About 430. Does that make sense? See how I'm overlapping the concepts? So my overhead resistance on the hourly is going to be right here. So when I get long on the 10-minute, I'm probably going to roll up into that hourly resistance. Pretty cool, right? I have my favorite trades. Is this the same course? That might be, I don't know. That might be included in that. They're pretty close. You wouldn't have to buy it, I don't think. On average, how many trades do you make in one day? I try not to do more than 15 trades a day. I usually make about 3 to 5. Yeah, that would be my first target. So yeah, first target. All right, 5 more, and I'm gonna go spend some time with my family. All right, so do you use a 10-minute or a 60-minute for the entry? I use a 10-minute for the entry on intraday charts. So will you trade a short-term intraday chart against an opposite setup on an hour? Not usually. I still try to stay on the overall daily time frame. Do you usually trade a stock or options on stocks? Both. What is the best price range for stocks? My account is not very large, and I cannot buy stocks over 20 or cannot buy many shares. Ed, trade options in. Trade options or move over to the futures markets where you can use leverage. Yeah, do that. If you have a small account, just trade options. All right. All right. Here, once again, is what you get. Here's what you're going to learn. Bink. You go back here. This is what you're going to learn. You're going to get access to the #1 best-selling Ichimoku course in North America, in all English-speaking countries. I need to sell more in Japanese or Japan and see if I can smoke them. 7 proven setups, trading rules and indicator settings, checklist with cheat sheets, with entries and exits, stop loss and targets, how to scan the markets with Ichimoku, how to filter out the best trades. You're never going to guess what to do next, and I'm going to teach you how to avoid some of the head fakes to make you a better trader. You get all of this for 100% satisfaction. $97 for the first 100 spots. You're going to get the Ichimoku Cloud Charting Secrets course, how to use Ichimoku with candlesticks. I'm going to give you 4 live training sessions once per week. Every Tuesday evening, we're going to get together and look at all the markets. You bring a list of stocks, and I'll take a look at them. And then 1 day of live trading, okay? All for only $97. Thanks for the info. How did you trade the Fed news? I traded it with an FOMC 123 trade, and that's mainly how I did it. There's a trade that we do called an FOMC 123 trade. All right, Kevin, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the information. Use it, make more money than you lose out there. That's the goal. Good luck. Hope it helps, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hubert, thank you so much. And guys, again, thank you for spending your Thursday night with us. If you want to check that out, go to realtraderswebinar.com/cloud. The link is in the chat box. And guys, just to let you know, again, just want to say thank you to Hubert, Jeanette, and his team for coming in tonight and putting on such a great presentation. And next week, just so you know, we're going to be doing a multi-speaker event. So stay tuned for that. And we'll have a bunch of hangouts coming up every week. All right, guys, have a great night, and thank you for coming. And Hubert, thank you again for putting on such a great presentation.